On September 15, 2024, Swedish television reported that Chinese tycoon Lin You, suspected of murdering his first Swedish wife, had been arrested by Chinese police in China. That's 21 years after the crime, during which time Lin Yu's second wife also died, in mysterious circumstances in Thailand. So how many murders are linked to Lin You? Welcome to Red Eastern True Crime. If you like true crime stories, please subscribe to my channel. Let's dive into this story. Lin You, born in 1963 in Dalian, Liaoning Province, China, is the most famous second-generation rich person, Wang Xikong's uncle, who we talked about in the last video. A billionaire with numerous companies to his name, Lin You comes from a prominent and influential background. In the early 1990s, when he was in his 30s, Lin You co-founded the Lin Investment Group with his sister Lin Ning, Wang Xikong's mother. Their ventures spanned trading, entertainment, catering, and construction, and at their peak they owned 18 companies. In a newly liberalized China, Lin You and his family were among the first to reap the benefits of economic reform. Their fortune can be traced back to Lin Yu's father, Lin Lianzhang, who was the director of the organization department of the political department of the East China Artillery, and had joined the Communist Party before the founding of the People's Republic of China, making him a true veteran of the Red Army. In 1996, Lin Yu's family encouraged him to learn English to help the family business expand overseas. This led him to meet Veronica, a 24-year-old Swedish exchange student at Dalian University of Technology. The two were immediately attracted to each other and soon fell in love. A year later, Veronica unexpectedly became pregnant. When Lin You found out, his immediate reaction was to pressure her to terminate the pregnancy, as he had done with previous girlfriends. Veronica stood her ground and angrily revealed the situation to Lin Yu's father. When Lin Yu's father heard about the impending grandchild, he was thrilled. Under pressure, Lin You was forced to marry Veronica. The couple registered their marriage in Sweden, but spent most of their time apart, living in different countries. Their son Marcus was born in 1999, but Lin You was noticeably absent during this time. He eventually traveled to Sweden for a brief period of happiness with Veronica and her son. In 2002, when Marcus was 2, the family moved back to China. It was during this time that Veronica discovered Lin Yu's infidelities. He was often surrounded by women, and even took Marcus to bars and nightclubs, leading to heated arguments. Discouraged by his repeated betrayals, Veronica moved back to Sweden with their 3-year-old son and officially separated from Lin You. Initially, he paid 10,000 Swedish crowns a month in child support, but later demanded that Marcus spend 3 months a year in China without her presence. Veronica categorically refused, and Lin You then stopped the payments. In January 2003, Veronica filed for divorce in a Swedish court, seeking not only child support, but also a fair division of their assets. Even before the trial began, the couple had been exchanging intense texts and emails. Veronica's phone records revealed Lin Yu's last message: "Be careful. Don't put too much pressure on me. I love our son more than you. I will come to Sweden to discuss this properly." Veronica shot back, "You want to fight me? Fine. I'll wait." Less than 48 hours later, tragedy struck. On the evening of March 18th, 2003, police in Gothenburg, Sweden, received a report that 31-year-old Veronica had disappeared after leaving school. The report came from her worried parents, who noted that Veronica had been living with them since moving back to Gothenburg with Marcus, maintaining a routine of attending university classes and returning home each afternoon. That night, however, it was 8 p.m., and she hadn't returned home. Her phone was unanswered, which was highly unusual. Upon receiving the report, the police acted quickly and opened a case, rather than dismissing it, because of the short time frame of Veronica's disappearance. They visited her university, where teachers and classmates reported that she had left at around 2 p.m. that day, and seemed perfectly well. Her school friend recalled that Veronica had mentioned that her Chinese husband was coming to Sweden to discuss custody of their son. However, Veronica's parents didn't know about Lin Yu's impending visit and noted that he usually informed them beforehand. The police took down Lin Yu's name and passed on his details to the Swedish Migration Board. They discovered that he had entered Sweden on March 16th, arriving at Gothenburg Airport before checking into a local Sheraton hotel. Police quickly located Lin You, a well-dressed, articulate 40-year-old. He claimed that he had initially traveled to the UK and Italy on business, but had found himself with few days off, which prompted a surprise visit to his wife and son. He admitted that he and Veronica were separated, and that she had formally filed for divorce, citing disagreements over the division of assets and custody. Lin You explained that after arriving in Gothenburg on the evening of the 16th, he had slept in his hotel until midday the following day due to jet lag. He then had lunch with a local business associate, where they drank and chatted until late at night, a detail corroborated by hotel surveillance footage. After questioning, the police allowed Lin You to leave. Meanwhile, another group of officers tracked Veronica's phone signal, which was surprisingly located in her parents' building. However, due to the limitations of GPS technology at the time, the police struggled to pinpoint her exact location. They tried to call her phone and listened in on all the neighbors' doors. Fortunately, Veronica's Nokia phone had an impressive standby time. Even though she had been missing for almost 3 days, it was still switched on. Suddenly, from the first floor of the flat directly opposite her parents', they heard the phone ringing. Despite repeated knocks and calls, no one answered. The police had no choice but to force entry, where they discovered Veronica's lifeless, bloodied body in the bathtub. A forensic examination revealed that she had died of mechanical asphyxiation, probably using a thin cord similar to a clothesline. Her time of death was estimated to be at least 2 days earlier, suggesting that she had entered the neighbor's flat on her way home and was killed there. The flat showed signs of a violent struggle, with overturned furniture and significant blood spatter on the floor and bathroom door. The neighbor, a 44-year-old Chinese man called Tang Qingzhong, had lived in Sweden for almost 20 years. The police suspected Tang of being the murderer and speculated about a possible secret romantic relationship between him and Veronica. Her parents, however, strongly denied this possibility, describing Tang as a respectable neighbor who would never have an affair or commit murder. His workplace, a local supermarket, informed the police that he had not been to work for several days and had not answered his phone. Police quickly tracked Tang's phone signal and discovered that he was in northern Sweden and moving fast, suggesting he was on the run. A team of officers tracked him down, eventually finding a discarded phone with no fingerprints in a railway station toilet bin. Tang was identified as a key suspect, and a nationwide arrest warrant was issued for him in Sweden. Days later, another neighbor walking his dog near the complex noticed that the dog was sniffing and digging in a small patch of grass behind the building, eventually discovering a human hand. He immediately called the police. When officers arrived, they confirmed that the buried body belonged to the fugitive Tang. To their astonishment, the coroner determined that Tang had died early on March 18th or late on March 17th, before Veronica's death. Blood tests from the crime scene revealed traces of blood from 3 people in Mr. Tang's apartment. In addition to Mr. Tang and Veronica, a third sample belonged to a man of East Asian descent. Based on how both victims were killed, where the bodies were hidden, and where Tang's phone was dumped, the police formulated a bold theory. The killer had killed Tang in order to use his apartment to eliminate Veronica. The night before the murder, the assailant probably broke into Mr. Tang's apartment, killed him, dismembered the body in the bathroom, and moved it to the backyard in the middle of the night. He then waited for Veronica, blocked her entrance, and tricked or forced her into Mr. Tang's apartment, where he strangled her, then took Mr. Tang's phone and boarded a train heading north to create the illusion of Mr. Tang's escape. All the evidence pointed to a premeditated crime. The killer knew Veronica lived with her parents, making it inconvenient to commit the murder there, and understood her daily routine, allowing them to frame Tang while securing a safe space. Who could have such knowledge, motive, opportunity, and ability? At this point, the police turned their attention to Lin You as the prime suspect. When they arrived at the Sheraton Hotel, however, they learned that he had checked out a week earlier. Border records indicated that he had left Sweden for the UK, but information from the British authorities revealed that he had never stopped there, opting instead for a direct flight back to Dalian, China. The Swedish police immediately searched Lin Yu's hotel room. Although it had been cleaned, they discovered a small blood stain on the armrest of a chair that matched the third blood sample taken from Mr. Tang's apartment. The authorities suspected that the killer might have been a hitman hired by Lin You, who had accidentally left a trace of his blood when collecting payment for the job. Swedish police then issued an international arrest warrant for Lin You. However, the lack of an extradition treaty between China and Sweden put the authorities in a difficult position. 2 years later, in 2005, after struggling to get permission to investigate, Swedish police traveled to Dalian in the hope that Lin You would cooperate. Instead, he turned up with a lawyer and refused to talk, no matter how much they tried to persuade him. The police also questioned people close to Lin You, including former girlfriends and his secretary, but all remained tight-lipped. They tried to interview Zhang Jiansong, the hitman Lin You allegedly hired to kill Veronica. But despite cooperation from the Chinese police, Zhang was nowhere to be found, leading investigators to suspect that he had been silenced. The only significant outcome of this trip was the airline's provision of Lin Yu's ticket, which confirmed that he'd flown directly from Dalian to Gothenburg on March 16, 2003. This contradicted his earlier claims to the police that he had traveled to the UK first. Lacking the direct evidence they needed, the police had no choice but to return to Sweden and wait patiently for another opportunity. Lin You remained an international fugitive, meaning that if he set foot in a country with an extradition treaty with Sweden, he would be arrested immediately. Meanwhile, Marcus, who was just 3 years and 9 months old when his mother was murdered, was protected from negative influences by Veronica's parents. Fearing that Lin You would try to kidnap Marcus and take him back to China, they moved, changed his name, and told him that his parents had died in a car accident. 11 years passed before Veronica's parents received an update from the police, not about Veronica's case, but about Lin Yu's second wife, who had died mysteriously in Thailand. Lin Yu's second wife, Lin, had been his secretary for many years, and they married in 2005. In 2008, Lin You bought a luxury villa in Koh Samui, Thailand for cash, making headlines for setting a local property transaction record. In late 2013, while on holiday in Thailand, Lin suddenly died in the villa. Lin You later claimed that she had got drunk and accidentally drowned in the swimming pool while he had fallen asleep. However, Thai authorities discovered suspicious marks on Lin's neck, raising concerns that she'd been strangled and then thrown into the water, leading to Lin Yu's arrest. After posting a $1 million bail, Lin You fled back to China the same night. Lin's family traveled to Thailand to seek answers and pursue legal action, but Thai police dismissed the case as a cross-border issue, and therefore unmanageable, while Chinese authorities claimed that unknown causes of death hampered their investigation. This incident received minimal media coverage in Thailand. However, on January 30, 2014, a social media post highlighted the case, stating, "My sister-in-law's sister married the uncle of China's richest man," referring to Wang Xichong's uncle. After being with this man for over a decade, she was strangled to death in Thailand in 2013 by her husband, who claimed it was drowning. Although the post exposed Lin You, it did not affect his life. In 2005, Swedish police had also met Lin during their visit to Dalian. They suspected that she might have booked Lin Yu's tickets around the time of Veronica's murder, as she probably knew many of his secrets. But she remained silent, and before they left, the police warned her to be careful of Lin You, whom they considered very dangerous. According to Lin's family, they married a few months after the Swedish police investigation, raising the question of whether Lin You orchestrated this to keep her loyal. In 2017, Lin's family returned to Thailand to formally request a re-investigation into Lin's death, specifically naming Lin You as a prime suspect. However, the Thai police only concluded that the cause of death was suspicious, but still refused to open a case. In stark contrast to the Thai authorities' inaction, the Swedish police continued to monitor Lin Yu's activities. A year later, there was an unexpected twist. In December 2014, just a year after Lin's death, Lin You passed through an airport in the UK, using a new passport under the name Lin You. Although the name was different, facial recognition technology identified him as the murder suspect wanted by Swedish police for 11 years, leading to his immediate arrest. 4 months later, Lin You was extradited to Sweden to stand trial. He again showed his financial prowess by hiring Sweden's most expensive defense lawyer, arguing that his blood did not match the crime scene evidence and that he had an alibi for the entire day of the crime. The prosecution presented testimony from Sheraton staff, who reported that a tall Asian man had entered Lin Yu's room on the nights of the 17th and 18th, along with ticket evidence and text messages between him and Veronica that illustrated his motive. As the prosecution and defense exchanged heated arguments, Lin You remained calm, only expressing a wish to see his son Marcus in court towards the end of the trial, a request the judge refused. After a 3-week trial, the jury found Lin You guilty of 2 counts of incitement to murder and sentenced him to life imprisonment. Just when it seemed that justice had finally been served, a dramatic turn of events occurred. Lin Yu's legal team discovered that one of the 12 jurors had a questionable background and was likely to have leaked sensitive information before the verdict was reached, prompting an appeal. Shortly afterward, the juror was disqualified. As a result, the previous verdict was overturned, and, under the principle of innocent until proven guilty, Lin You was declared not guilty and immediately released, rushing to the airport to catch the first flight back to China. Veronica's parents and Marcus struggled to come to terms with the outcome, while the Swedish officers who had pursued Lin You for years expressed their outrage at what they saw as an injustice. They feared that Lin Yu's escape meant that justice for Veronica and Mr. Tang would remain elusive. On his return to China, Lin You stopped traveling to Europe, became more reticent, and seemed to distance himself from the Lin Group. However, it soon emerged that he had invested in several biopharmaceutical companies and remained a wealthy tycoon. He married a 3rd wife and had a daughter, claiming that his daughter was born with genetic defects, which led him to set up a biotech company. In a video, he quoted Inamori Kazuo, a contemporary management guru, "Respect heaven and love people," stressing the importance of moral principles and serving humanity through advanced scientific achievements. In 2021, 22-year-old Marcus worked with Swedish television to make a documentary called Veronica and the Chinese Millionaire, which detailed the case of Veronica and Mr. Tang and shed light on other aspects of the investigation. Marcus said their aim was not to imprison his father, but to uncover the truth behind his mother's death. In October 2023, a Beijing lawyer named Liu publicly announced on Weibo that Lin You had been arrested on suspicion of murder and was under surveillance at a designated location. The post was quickly deleted, raising questions about its authenticity, and neither Lin You nor official channels clarified the situation. In September 2024, Sveriges Radio and several media outlets reported a breakthrough in the case surrounding the murders of Swedish woman Veronica and her neighbor Mr. Tang, confirming that the Chinese suspect Lin You had been arrested by Chinese police and was currently being held in Dalian. Chinese authorities informed Swedish prosecutors of Lin Yu's formal arrest and sought cooperation in providing the original investigation case files. After learning of his father's arrest, Marcus, now 25, took part in an interview with a YouTube channel called M2 Documentaries, He said he was still a student studying economics in Sweden. He was only 3 years and 9 months old when his mother was murdered and often cried for her. His grandparents later told him that she had died in a car accident, which he believed. However, at the age of 7, he stumbled across a box of videotapes at home and watched them to find news reports about his mother's case. He realized that his mother had been murdered and that his father was a suspect. He put the tape back and pretended not to know. When he was 10, his grandparents finally revealed the truth, to which he replied that he had already known, shocking them. No one in the family expected that 21 years later, Lin You would be arrested by the Chinese authorities. When asked about his desire for justice in this case, Marcus said,
"Well, I want justice for my mother, and I want the right person to be held accountable for his crimes. And so it's important for me for that the truth comes out. And when it comes to the death penalty, if my father would be found guilty, I would not want him to face the death penalty because I consider all deaths to be tragic, and I don't want my father to die because if he does, I can never get any answers to my questions.
Currently, Lin You is believed to be linked to 4 murders: the deaths of his first wife Veronica, his neighbor Mr. Tang, the hitman Zhang, and his second wife Lin. Lawyer Liu, who uncovered these links, pointed out that although the murders took place abroad, Chinese criminal law applies to Chinese citizens who commit crimes abroad. This means that if someone commits murder abroad, they can be prosecuted in China for intentional homicide, which carries the death penalty, life imprisonment, or a sentence of more than 10 years. Will Lin You finally face the legal consequences this time? In October 2024, news of Lin Yu's arrest was reported by mainland Chinese media, but no official announcement was made detailing the charges against him. Was he arrested for the aforementioned murders or for some other undisclosed crime? If it was for the murders, why did it take 20 years to arrest him? Many have their theories. It's likely that the forces behind Lin You have collapsed, and that his arrest is a manifestation of judicial fairness or the result of a power struggle. Whether we will ever know the ultimate truth remains uncertain. What do you think about this case? Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more crime stories, please like and subscribe to my channel.